I lost my religion from doing some reading. 3 particular books really affected me. I read Hesse's Siddhartha. I read The Antichrist by Nietzsche. And third book, the Holy Bible. Real page turner. But you know, I was a teenager, and it really was painful letting go of the promise of an afterlife that I really looked forward to. Having that separation from the majority of my family. So it was, it was a difficult thing. And then to make matters worse, shortly after I made the decision to say, I really am done with this. I really don't believe this anymore. I met a really, really cute girl. and she loved me and Jesus. It's not the love triangle I wanted to be in. She was inviting me to a religious phenomenon that some of you might be familiar with, called a lock-in. Yeah, the lock-in. That's how Christians get young souls. The lock-in was exciting, because you would all go to a place, and they would lock the doors. You would be in there all night. You could not leave. You were locked in. They were really big on this point. So I went to my parents and I said, hey, this girl wants me to go to this lock-in. It's at the church, so I won't be doing drugs or anything. And my mom's thrilled. Oh, you're going to go to a church event? And if a pretty girl doesn't convert you, nothing will. It's just your one last hope. So yeah, of course you can go, My dad gets there and he talks to the guy. Because my dad knows me well. They're going to lock him in, right? Securely. So I'm there, and at first it's okay. I'm when there aren't lights on me and a microphone in my hand, I can be kind of shy. And so I'm meeting some of the other kids, and they have little icebreakers. They have little games that you play. And so the first game, you lay down and you put your head on someone's belly. And someone else lays and puts their head on your belly. And you form this head-to-belly chain around the room. And the first person in the chain says, ha. And the next person says, ha ha. And the next person says, ha ha ha. And it keeps going all the way around the chain. But if everyone breaks out in real laughter, your head's bouncing around and stuff, and you're a boy and a girl's head's on your belly for the first time in your life, you're likely to do. I intentionally cracked up laughing so many times because I wanted to keep her pretty hair flowing over my shirt for as long as I could. I was in heaven, And eventually that game ended, so we played a new game, where everybody gets a secret slip of paper and there's some manner of animal. You're assigned an animal. And then they turn the lights off, and you have to go around the room and find the other people that are the same animal as you in the dark. Which again, is a game that allows Christian teenagers to touch each other. It's like, really? You're winning people for the church? Through letting us grope each other? I mean, you gotta compete with MTV somehow, I guess. So after the teenage sex party ended, we had a question and answer session with a guy that was just the archetypical youth pastor. He says awesome a lot and calls you dude. And I don't remember what his name was, but I like to think that it was Ron. If there's any Rons in the room, sorry. I didn't mean you, I just meant every other person named Ron. And Ron invites us to ask honest questions. Write them down on cards and fold them, and they're anonymous. And you drop them in a hat, and you pass them forward, and Ron will answer the questions. So Ron is pulling these cards out, and it's all bullshit. Will my dog be in heaven? Dude. I had a dog when I was a kid. It was a really awesome dog. And I saw God in that dog. I could see that God created this beautiful dog. So I have to believe that that dog will be in heaven. Which I thought was pretty awesome, dude. Then he comes to my question. Faith. Isn't it dangerous? Wouldn't it basically make me believe in whatever is fed to me first and create a breeding war among the various faithful for dominance? I knew when Ron got to my question, I looked around before he read it, and then told us all something about God is love. And moved on to, will my cat be in heaven? Oddly enough, the answer was no. Whoa. You didn't even answer that last question. That was bullshit. God is love? What? That's not an answer. All right, kid. Me and Ron get into a theological debate, which puts an end to question and answer time. And I'm sure that I'm going to be a hero. I'm thinking I'm going to get a lot of kisses from the pretty girl now, right? I'm going to be the most popular kid there. They were avoiding me like the plague. And it was awful. And I was lonely and pissed off and locked in. But I noticed that there was an office with the door open, and I noticed that there was a phone in that office with the door open, and I went in to that phone, and it was late now because we'd spent a lot of time feeling each other up, and I dialed my house, and my dad answers, and I said, Dad, you got to get me the hell out of here. They promised you were locked in. I guess for a parent is like winning the lottery for the night. I said, Dad, I'm really serious. I need you to come get me. What are you going to do about the locks? Come on, Dad. I'll get out. One way or another, I will get out. Just be out front. So I waited. I saw the minivan pull up. So I walked up to the doors, and I just unlocked it. And I was almost out the door when one kid yells, Hey Ron! That kid's leaving! And everyone starts heading towards me. It was like Night of the Living Christian. And I go through the door, and I hop in the van. And I look back. My dad puts his hand on the back of my neck, and I see this whole wall of kids. Ron standing there having twisted the lock. And they're staring at me. And they're disappointed. Some of them are downright angry. And as my dad drove away, it occurred to me, you really have to want to believe that you're locked in.